Hi, and welcome to Meals Ready to Eat. In this episode, we tackle SpongeBob RoundCake. This delicious sponge cake is going to be covered in whipped cream and berries. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started with the ingredients list. The first ingredient that we're going to use is the whipped cream from the previous episode. Additionally, we're going to need some berries. In this case, I've chosen to use strawberries and blueberries. To grease the cake pan, we're going to use some Baker's Joy, which is a combination of shortening and flour. We are also going to need 4 eggs. We will need pure vanilla extract, none of the imitation stuff. Additionally, we're going to need some all-purpose flour. Finally, we'll need baking powder for the leavening agent. We're going to need whole milk, don't substitute anything less. We're going to need some sea salt. We're also going to need some unsalted butter. Now let's get started making the cake. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to separate the egg yolks and then set them aside. The egg whites, put it into the mixing bowl, and the yolks stay aside for now. Don't get rid of them, we're going to need them later in the recipe. But for now, just set them aside. Go ahead and beat the egg whites on low power. Something like 2 or 3 would be just fine. What you're actually trying to do is you're going to create a sort of a meringue. So you're going to stiffen up the egg whites, and what that's going to do is it's going to give the cake additional body. So when the egg whites are done, they're going to look something like this. They're going to be stiff and they're going to adhere to the whisking tool. Additionally, at this point you're going to go ahead and put in your egg yolks. Then measure 2 cups of granulated sugar and add those to the mix. Now go ahead and whisk all of that on medium speed. While it's mixing, go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of the pure vanilla extract. In a separate bowl, go ahead and add 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Then go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of baking powder to the flour. Additionally, pull out your sea salt and add 1 teaspoon of that. Now stir the mixture with a fork or whisk. Gradually add flour to the mixing bowl. Continue beating the mixture at a 60% level, but be sure not to get going too quickly because the flour will end up all over you instead of into the mixing bowl. Now add 1 cup of whole milk to the saucepan. Then add 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Melt the butter over a low heat. As the butter melts, whisk it together with the milk. Taking it off the stove, slowly add milk and butter solution to the mixing bowl. Stir and gradually increase speed to medium-high. Now that your batter is complete, pour it into 2 greased and floured 9-inch cake pans. Go ahead and bake at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes. Remember that a cake is always done when it begins to spring back when touched. Now let the cake cool completely and then place it on the pedestal for icing. In this recipe, we're actually going to be using the whipped cream that we created in the previous episode. And then we're also going to be interspersing that with fresh blueberries and strawberries. So once you've decorated the sponge cake, it's going to look a little something like this. Bon appetit! From Meals Ready to Eat, I'm your host, Sean Patterson. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Feel free to leave comments and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube at youtube.com/mealsreadytoeat. This has been a production of Aperture Web Productions. Find Aperture Web Productions online at aperturewebproductions.com.